And when Obama came to power, after these guys had crashed the bloody economy, he appoints Geithner as his Treasury Secretary to sort it out. And what does he do? Stands back in amazement. He decides that hosing money at banks is the way to sort it out. So what we had as a result of that was the transfer of wealth on a fantastic scale from people through governments bailing out the banks to the banks. As a result of that, there was another transfer just shortly after that, which so many people here and around the world will well bloody know. And that was the transfer of the problem from governments to the people through programs of austerity. So, and as a result of what happened in Cyprus, we're going to the next stage now. They're taking governments out of that transfer of wealth from the people to the banks and the elite, out of that, and they're going straight to the bank accounts of the people. And that precedent set in Cyprus means that when the next banking crash comes, they're probably organizing it now. They'll say, well, we can't bail out, government saying, we can't bail out the banks after what's happened in Cyprus. It wouldn't be fair. You've got to go to the bank accounts of the people. And this is the idea. And what they're doing is they are stealing the money of the masses to create this structure that I've just described. And so I say this to people around the world who think they're okay, who think it's not their problem, who think, oh no, I'm making a few quid, I've got a nice house. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not part of this network, they want your money too. So join us, come together. In there are high-tech people like Eric Schmidt, the executive chairman of Google, who not by coincidence have had a conference at this very hotel very recently. There is a program of turning humans into robots, turning humans into software programs. Up to this point, modern times, last few years, it's been done by programming their perceptions so that they see the world the way they want them to see it. If you can program someone's perceptions, you program their belief, you program their behavior. Perception is the stadium on which the whole thing's played out. What they want to do now, and are in the process of doing, is going another stage beyond just programming perception. They want technology inside the human body and interacting with the human body so that the human body ceases to be what it currently is in terms of its ability to perceive itself and the world. See, they want a microchipped population which would have external control of the physical mind, not that there is any physical, mind, body, emotions. Now, what Google is there for is to develop this technology, and people like the Bilderbergers, some of them, especially politicians, are there to sell this technology, is to introduce it into society with us thinking it's a good thing. And you look at now how fast humans have become almost partly connected to machines. You walk down a station platform in the morning. Look at that. It's the thing here. What's that? What is that? Did that grow? Was he born with that? What's going on? You know. Oh, I'm just going to Twitter. I'm just going to Twitter the fact that I'm going to the toilet and I'll be back in a minute. All right. Are you going to tell him if it's a number one or a number two? I mean, there's too much information, man, you know. But that's what's happening. And this Google Glasses, again, this Google Glass, it's all about getting people closer and closer to interacting with machines and accepting technology into the human body. And they've got this thing, Google, called Google X. It's a secret laboratory in California where they're developing this stuff. Now, what this interacts with is an organization, one of the most sinister on the planet, called DARPA. DARPA is the technology development arm of the Pentagon. It's developing all this stuff to take us over technologically, to create robot armies and all the rest of it. Interesting that the head of DARPA, until relatively recently, was a lady called Regina Duggan. She ran this sinister organization, DARPA. She then had a rather remarkable career move. She became an executive of Google. And this very week, she was promoting for another company of which she is an executive, Motorola, something you may have come across in the papers called the electronic tattoo. And what she was saying, and the Motorola was saying, they want to replace passwords with the electronic tattoo. And that is the totalitarian tiptoe. The electrical tattoo is one step from the internal microchip. This is where we're going, and we need to see it, and we need to stand in front of the truck and say enough, no further. That's the next one we need to sort out. Stop acquiescing. We need to come together and have a mass, non-violent, non-cooperation campaign the world over in which we refuse to cooperate with our own enslavement. Because only if we refuse to go or cooperate with our own enslavement is it possible for the few to do this to the many. Let's demonize the poor. Let's demonize people with one bedroom too many when they're on benefits. Let's demonize everyone. Turn the rest of them against them, and when the demonized ones have been picked off, then we'll come for you. This is what is happening, and we need to come together. Open the heart, open the mind, irrespective of religion, race. I don't care. We are all one consciousness having different experiences. When we identify and self-identify with name, income bracket, a life story, etc., we see the world and ourselves in terms of little me. I'm just little me. I'm just Joe Bloggs, Fred Jones. Who am I? What can I do? But when you get to that point where you expand your awareness, you expand the memory of what we already know, then you realize there are no little me's. There's only a perception, here we go again, of little me. And we must keep that perception if we're going to be controlled by the few. We are infinite awareness, all that has been, ever can be, and ever anything can be. The same single awareness. We need to stop fighting each other and come to this conclusion. If we're one consciousness, then anybody else's injustice becomes our injustice. No more looking the other way. That's a house of cards. The people it's manipulating, silly sods, are the ones that are holding it up there. We need to stop doing that, and there'll be a very loud bang, and it will be over. And this is a major, major step to that loud bang. We're reaching now. You know, I don't quote Churchill very much for many reasons, but one thing he said, I think it was in 1942 at the State of the War, he said, "This is not the end, nor even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." I suggest that this moment marks the end of the beginning. Yeah! Woo! And that beginning has been to bring vast numbers of people, and that needs to continue, my goodness, into an awareness that the world was not like they thought it was, and it's not run by forces that they thought it was run by. That's now reached clearly a point all over the world, and my goodness, I can tell you because I work on it all day, the bloody graph is going skywards in terms of people waking up to their true nature. We here outnumber the 140 by a very large margin. Let's just visualize that. People here in front of me massively outnumber the 140 who are orchestrating the direction of the world on behalf of masters that they are terrified of. Now, take this and imagine 7 billion people, and those 140 are doing that to them. What did I say? What did I say earlier? The world is mad. The world is a complete inversion of itself. And what we need is a peaceful, non-cooperative campaign. The non-comply dance, as I call it. Peaceful because we ain't joining them. You can have revolutions, and history is littered with them, where violent revolutions remove a tyranny, and what follows is another form of tyranny. You do not create a peaceful society, a loving society, a caring society, and a just society with violence. We can do this peacefully, and we have the numbers. As the poet Shelley said, rise like lions after slumber, with unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth like dew. Which in sleep have fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few. We ain't having it anymore. We know what you're doing. We're not having it. Human race, get off your knees, because the lion sleeps no more. Thank you.